Come on, Soda Pop, let's go.
One of the main reasons I'm here, besides talking about margaritas that just have sand in them, an inside joke, is Mike is on this mission to get people to come bring him their medical bills that look, well, I don't know, fictitious, silly, not right, wrong.
You know, there's a whole industry involved with billing codes.
Right.
And the game that's being played with billing codes.
And to set it up in case there's some people watching, and maybe there isn't, Mike was at the foundation of this industry. I mean, you were the CEO of Mayo Clinic, but before you were that, you were on the stepping blocks. You created you were part of the industrial hospital complex, should we say? I mean, you kind of built this. I mean, I'm not trying to make you feel real guilty and sad right now, but I mean, you were part of the system. So it wasn't like all of a sudden one day you got a bill and then you were mad about the system. You were part of the system and you understand it, and that's why you're upset and mad, and that's why you're talking about it. Right? Right? Wrong? Am I wrong?
Absolutely. I helped build the system.
Yep.
That I'm now attacking. But even then I got a little bit of trouble because the reason I was delivered to the specialty of delivering these large Catholic hospitals run by the Franciscans and other nuns, the non-nuns, is that I had this great Catholic background and the prayer of St. Francis, and they took me out there and I resisted. You know, I wanted to pick up on that same tradition, but at some point, rather early on, it became obvious that we were beginning to behave in a way. My first concern was Ivan Illich. His book, again, one of the most respected sociologists of our time, who predicted exactly what's going on right now, and that's the medicalization of society.
Yep.
Iatrogenesis. And his first sentence was, the medical establishment has become a major threat to health. And we know that iatrogenesis in the United States is the third leading cause of death. So when we would invite people to come in for your annual free or discounted physical, if my doctors couldn't at least spend $10,000 to $20,000 just looking at your body, and then when you put your body up against a machine like you had, oh, we're off to the races. We're off to the races. Then we began to hire the chief financial officer who would come in and say, is that all right? Is that the only margin? If I come in, I can increase that margin. Now, I go back to
There's
the
lots
time.
of more things wrong with Bruce than we could even possibly imagine.
Oh.
Let's get another scanner.
I mean, if I can't get, you'll be $1 million man before we put you away. So back in the
especially to put you away part.
In the early 60s, no self-respecting doctor would connect themselves with a Gallaudet corporate hospital.
Right, exactly.
They were independent, and their fiduciary duty was to the patient.
That's right.
And then these consultants would come in and we'd say, Dr. Anderson, could we send maybe Kingsley Island? Can we just have our consultant come in and take a look at your practice? You know, they'd go down there and take a look at that practice, and on the exit interview, they say, Dr. Anderson, you got a wonderful practice, and your patients love it. In those days, the money weren't big, but as we see last year, you made, $175,000 after all your expenses were paid.
Pretty good living.
However, we just came out of an environment, if you were to affiliate with Mercy, or with the Lutheran facility, but with Mercy, we think you ought to be more like 310,000.
Yeah.
And he would then probably say, let me talk to my wife. And so we began to build a system, that corporate structure, and they all became part of it. And of course we need the power of the pen. Nothing happens until that allopathic licensed physician used to sign, now he just dictates, it goes into a code. So that system has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and now we insulate ourselves through something known as moral hazard. And I always taught for 23 years, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Law professor.
A law professor teaching healthcare law,
Yes, yeah.
health economics. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know, those students weren't always terribly alert. And then I'd ask the question.
Bruce went to USD. How were you alert at 8 in the morning?
Have any of you ever engaged in moral hazard? And they hang their head. No, I'm not talking about that kind of moral hazard. I'm talking about economic moral hazard, where you can consume $600,000 of services and you really don't care, you pay your $250 deductible. So we've been able to insulate people from the actual cost and impact of, and as you know what I'd like to do, because you people are exactly the ones I'd like to have me oversee this in some fashion.
Yep.
I wish to take today's camera, and we're talking about something the equivalent of a patient meter, a little like a taxi cab meter, connected to the codes. So we'd stick that on your chest, you're just hanging from your head, you know, but we want this, we'd follow a young person with iPhone camera capability.
Oh yeah, you'd have everything hooked up.
And when you walk through the Avera or Sanford door, pop, $1,780. Well, that's just the general overcost. So we're going to follow that. That's just general overhead expense.
Oh, I like this. I like where you're going with this. Going to see the doctor, they're telling you right here.
What we're going with right now is the incredible amounts, the knee surgery, they come in, do a little incision, do 3 stitches, send it out, $50,000. The gentleman walking down the hallway with me to this day, he said, my sister's got rare cancer, and a tube of, just a little vial of this rare pharmaceutical substance, $10,000.
Yep.
I want to begin to record, and let's talk about the transaction and the cost and where is that money all going, and that's why I did something that's inappropriate and radical. Because I had high esteem at one time as the CEO of that 1,000-bed Mayo hospital.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you ran Mayo.
Yeah, and that 1,000-bed hospital. And I taught for 26 years. I knew nothing to the Fairview. And now here I am on a goddamn street corner.
Well, you're in your loft right now on a nice leather couch.
That's right. So here I am on the street corner, and I thought, boy, people would be excited about this because we're spending millions of dollars on advertising. And I used to be an old journalist. In fact, I was a photographer for the Argus Leader. But I went to the Argus Leader and I asked the question, how much advertising revenue does the Argus Leader receive from Sanford each year? Suggesting that conceivably it could affect their editorial policy.
It would conceivably affect their bottom line.
Well, I think they love it. I think they love it. And
if they got rid of them, the car dealerships and Avera, there wouldn't be a newspaper.
Oh, there'd be a newspaper, the old-fashioned type.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be...
It's called the Shopping News, is where I work.
And I said, I'm not going to tell you.
You're damn right they're not going to tell you.
They can tell you, but I'm not going to tell you. So I thought, well, I'll do something radical. I'll get out there on the street, and I'm sure I'll have all. I went to the Democratic Forum and told them that next Tuesday at 11:30, I'll be standing there with this. Can we get that tape? Can we get that sheet? Let me get that. I mean, now this has
Oh
to
yeah,
be.
yeah, you brought the sheet.
Now, if I had any kind of political forethought, you're going to do what? And then I had another version that said, disclose and document how much.
Yeah, did you see this? Have you seen it? I didn't give you one of these? Look at that.
So there
Just
I
look at it.
am, standing on
Yeah, he's
the
asking-
corner,
he's
watching
asking
all the
advertising
people
dollars.
walk by. I went to the mayor's office and said, if I had this protest, do I need a permit? And they said, well, not if you have fewer than 25 people.
He went to Mike.
How many are you going to have? I said, gee, I already don't know. It could be 2, 15, maybe 25. And I think people would get pretty excited about millions of dollars going to these establishments.
I gotta ask you a burning question. I
Yes.
don't mean to interrupt. Because I've been wanting to ask you this for a while.
Yes.
And I'm not guilting you. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm so happy that you're doing this.
Yes.
I think it's wonderful.
Semicolon, however, comma.
Because right now you could be sitting down in the lobby with these other young girls and talking about books that don't matter. You could be playing pinochle, you could be playing chess, you could be drinking wine. There's all kinds of things you could be doing right now. You're retired. Is there a little bit part of you that feels some guilt, you're a Catholic man,
Mm-hmm.
little Catholic guilt about what you did when you were younger to build, because you were part of this, you built this structure.
Right.
You built this sandcastle. You helped. You were part of it. Is there a part of you that feels, and don't get really mad at me, but is there a part of you that feels really guilty about what you helped build? That's why you understand it so well. We know that. And that's why you're fighting it now going, you know, St. Christopher, please forgive me. Please forgive me for what I did. I'm trying to make up for that right now.
Oh my God, I'm hardly sorry.
No, I don't want you to apologize to me.
No, I know
I'm just
that.
saying. I'm just saying.
It's 15% guilt.
Yep.
Overwhelmingly, it's the Irish inclination. My hobby has always been, and Annette, Dr. Bosworth, and I share the same genetic inclination.
Mm-hmm.
And that is confronting bullies.
That's right.
So I grew up right here, up here on the north end,
Mm-hmm.
across from Tower Park, and we'd go over there, and occasionally there'd be 3 or 4 guys, and my strategy was to go to the biggest guy among the 3 or 4, and just throw a hell of a punch right in the nose. And didn't break it, but
Now you're worried me.
All right. And then they just beat the daylights out of me. Okay? But
Yeah.
by golly, I don't.
Oh yeah, the first one counts. I learned that when I was young fighting.
Is that right?
The first one counts. If you don't get the first one off, you're screwed.
That's right.
That's right.
So my hobby has always been going up against, and I've said the money changers was happening, but I really don't like the money changers have taken over not only politics, the money changers have taken over healthcare.
You're right. And I know, and that wasn't part of what you were doing. I understand that.
Right.
But
85% is the bully part,
Yep.
15% is guilt, and then overall, I'm in the unique position to say,
Exactly. You understand it.
You're kicking the daylights out of seniors, out of people. It's inappropriate, and I talk to seniors all the time through
Yep.
my senior legal helpline and my elder law forum. And you take these seniors living on. I've got a guy that called me yesterday. He and his wife together are getting $1,400 in Social Security. So I'm continuing my senior legal helpline privately with no compensation, and he was just turned down to drive a school bus, and he was getting $1,500. He said, God, I need that. My wife and I, we can't hardly make it. I moved from Vermilion up to Elk Point. What can you do? And I called the doctor today. I said, this guy needs some money, he needs some hours. Is there a way I can get Dr. Martin, in this case, to reconsider? Because another doctor had blessed him, but this doctor, and I can understand how conservative they are, but the point I'm making is that before I paid that system $1,000 a gal dang month, and the guy called me, my neighbor, came in and he said, Mike, this was Blue Cross Blue Shield, he was 62, they just jacked up my gal dang premium from $450 to $990
a month.
A month. And I said, before I paid, and I use a different term, before I pay those people $999 a month, you can go up and rent or buy yourself a nice log cabin on Lake Brant, get yourself a boat, and buy a case of Budweiser a week. There's no way I'm going to feed that system. It's extracting the kinds of money, and 112,000 claims go into judgment. Think of the misery of the people out there right now.
So that's why my grandpa, he lives in his own apartment, 93 years old, still lives in his own apartment. He got worried the other day because he forgot to shut the lights off when he went to go downtown to have lunch.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's like,
it's just,
you're okay.
Right? That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it, and somebody needs to do it, and they're all running for cover. And so you know what I'm trying to do.
The thing that's often bothered me about the healthcare system, and it's very simple, and I say this to people all the time, it's the insurance system and the industrial healthcare system like Sanford and Nevada. People who make money off of sick people, it's wrong. I don't have a problem with doctors making good money. I don't have a problem with the insurance company paying livable wages to their employees. But making sick tons of profits and money from sick people is wrong. The healthcare system should economically help people, should be affordable to everybody, and doctors shouldn't live in $4 or $5 million houses. They should. Do they deserve good money? Yes, they do. They do something that a lot of us could never do. But it's a broken system, and you are on the inside. You understand how it works.
Yes.
You understand. It's like you said. $9,000 a month premium for health insurance? That's ridiculous. It's preposterous.
No.
And then,
it was $900 a month.
Well,
900 to 1,000.
Yeah, you know, and
$1,000 a month.
Yeah, and then he gets Social
And he's
Security,
healthy.
and his Social Security is $1,400 a month.
Yes.
So he's got $400 to play with. So he's probably got to go and get food stamps and all kinds of stuff.
He and his wife applied for food stamps and they didn't qualify. And he said, Mike, it's tough out here. That's just one example. I can give you example after example. And I watch these older people in Centerville walk into that store and they try to do it. Okay, gonna wrap it up?
This section?
I'll tell you what, remember, you're talking to the Jake LaMotta of healthcare.
You go like this, Mike.
My very best friend, George Hirschback, said, Mike, do you remember you're the Jake LaMotta of healthcare? He said, because you remember the Sugar Ray and Jake had split.
Yeah.
And they went into the third fight. And Sugar is just beating and living the daylights out of him. And he'd drop an old Jake, he'd just beat that, and Jake would drop, and he'd stand back, and then Jake would get up again.
Oh, did he beat
and
Sugar Ray?
And then Sugar would just pound on him again, and he would drop again. And he kept getting, and he'd get up again. And finally, Sugar turns to the referee and says, do something. he now knows that the healthcare system coming after Mike Myers is popping. Don't worry, Sanford was behind my rather interesting departure from law school.
Yep.
Because they're after me for years. You know, I'd send students out to do some research, and they'd say, "Who's your professor?" Professor Myers.
He told me the story. Yeah.
We can't help you. They've been after me for a long time, and finally the dynamics of the school. I'm now 77 years old, and they said you become too aggressive and hostile. And I'm probably the only. There's probably been.
You ever notice any aggressive and hostile professors at USD?
Couple 300.
I know a couple.
A long time.
And I'm the only professor that ever had and contained in his syllabus the instructor's error rate. And I said, I keep track of how often I'm wrong. I said, last year I said I had a darn good year. I was only wrong about 17% of the time. But 2 years ago, I was wrong 23% of the time. But on the average, I tell them, I said, I'm wrong 20% of the time. But you get to decide which 20% it is. And they raise their hand. So if I get into politics, I want to tell everybody that I'm going to be wrong about 20% of the time. You get to decide.
That's a way better record than John Thune.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, on the John Thune thing,
come on, Soda Pop, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on.